Yeah, so just for a second here, earlier, moments ago, the crowd here just really erupted in cheers when they heard the anchors on the TV screen behind me saying that Spamberger is ahead currently here in this race. And yeah, we've been talking about the Attorney General's race as well. I've been able to interview Jay Jones about a couple of weeks ago after his debate. And when I spoke to him again this afternoon as he was greeting voters at the polling sites, he really was encouraging people to go out and vote and really telling people that what's on the line here is whether people support President Donald Trump and his policies or not. And with me right now is U.S. Congressman Eugene Vindman. I know we've spoken to you so far as what's at stake when it comes to the Attorney General's race. For you, what is at stake as far as Jones versus Miyares?
Well, look, this week we sent a letter to the Attorney General, the current Attorney General, asking him to fight for Virginians on SNAP benefits. 24 states sued. Virginia was not one of them. Millions of people have lost SNAP benefits. It's unclear whether the federal government will actually pay them out. People are going hungry. We need an Attorney General that will fight for Virginians, and that's Jay Jones.
And Jones, he's trying to navigate that tech scandal that really shrouded his campaign within the last few weeks. You were still very supportive of him despite calls from Republicans for him to step down. For you, do you think he's done enough since the tech scandal to convince people that they can trust him?
I think so. Look, this was a decision for the voters. The voters have decided. Those votes are being counted. I think at the end of the day, Jay Jones is going to win, and it's a decision for the voters to make.
What do you see in Jones doing if he wins as far as policy changes or possibly reversing what Miyares has implemented?
Look, it's going to be a hard pivot. I just gave you an example of SNAP benefits, not suing this administration when it comes to defending the tens of thousands of Virginians that are going to lose SNAP benefits in my district, hundreds of thousands across the Commonwealth. That is one example of him actually challenging this administration, not being a rubber stamp. Right now in Richmond, we have a governor, an LG, and an AG that are a rubber stamp for this administration. They're afraid to step out of line, and tonight we're going to have a hard pivot in Richmond and for the Commonwealth, and that's going to be a resounding message for the entire country.
And lastly, just to step outside of this race, but still very much a pertinent political matter when it comes to the government shutdown. Clearly, we are now heading into the longest government shutdown. Where do you see this ending? Is there anything more Democrats can do? And frankly, do you think, how long will this last?
Well, look, we're about to have the longest shutdown in the country's history. The last one was in the Trump 1 administration, where I served at the White House on National Security Council. What's the common factor there? It's Donald Trump. What we need him to do is to call the Republicans to negotiate. Right now, I don't know what he's doing. I mean, he's talking about golden toilets and remodeling, tearing down the White House and then remodeling it. What we need him to do is focus on the American people, make sure the benefits to the most needy Americans, 42 million, are paid out, and actually get to the negotiating table. And I really am optimistic that this week, once this election's out of the way, that we will get back to Washington, D.C., will negotiate and come up with a compromise that will open the government.
Representative Vindman, thank you so much for your time. And similar to what he said, that is the same message that Jones has been saying now, even in his attack ads leading up to election night. Guys?
All right, Matthew, thank you.